What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to episode 11 of the Collector Tour. I'm your host, Evil Sneaker. I am here with a special guest, Shane from One Six Figure Focus on a Saturday afternoon for me, but I know it's like evening time for you. Thanks so much for being here, man. Welcome in. How are you doing on this fine afternoon for me, evening for you?
I'm good, man. Thanks very much for the invite. Really do appreciate it. It's nice to be the one just chilling out when I have to do no prep and just answering the questions as opposed to asking the questions. I know what goes in backstage to organizing these type of streams. So yeah, thanks very much for asking. I do appreciate it.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I don't really stream on Saturdays, so I'm looking forward to it's nice. It's a nice change of pace. Usually I'm like Monday or Tuesday evening for this show, my time. So no, I'm really happy that we got to link up, definitely. And I really enjoyed being on your show. For those of you in the chat who don't know, Shane does a show called Visions, Past, Present, Future, where he interviews collectors as well. So that was a lot of fun. So I wanted to return the favor and kind of bring you onto my show where I do something a little bit different. And yeah, I like, I feel like everybody, and especially on YouTube, it's usually like we all talk about all the things that we talk about, but we don't really get a lot of time to, talk about ourselves often. So I want to give collectors the opportunity to do that. So yeah, man, thanks so much for being here. I'm really excited to have you on.
No problem, man. Looking forward to answering a few questions, having a chat.
Yeah. I'm sure some more people will roll in here as we get going, but I just want to address some people in the chat here real quick. And before I do that, your links, Shane's links are down in the description below. You can see the banner as well. You can check out him on YouTube and on Instagram. Go check out his stuff and see the content that he has going on. And you just hit a sub goal, didn't you? Or like what did you just hit? Was it 4? What'd you just hit, Shane, for subs?
It's we're 2,500, and like the last week just I don't know, one of my videos must be popping, but I don't know which one it is. But a few times today I got like, I don't know, 10 or 12 extra subs, and that's kind of like, we've all realized that if you drop a short and if it has Iron Man in it, bang, you're going to probably get 12 subs or whatever. But
Yeah.
I didn't drop anything, so maybe, I don't know, some video must be popping, but I don't know which one it is. But 2,555.
Yeah, okay. I was gonna say I think we were at 2,500 when I was doing the Visions episode.
That makes sense.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Yeah, gotcha. Couldn't remember, but yeah, that's awesome. It's awesome. I am on my way. I'm working my way towards the 500 mark. I'm at I think 365. So
Good stuff.
Yeah, we're working it. We're working there. So let's address the chat here real quick. We got Cage, a longtime friend and supporter of the channel. What's up, everyone? Hope you're all having a great weekend. Excited for this TCT. Let's go. Yes, thank you so much for being here. Shane, salute to you. Daniel Brancato is in the house. Hello, everyone. He's somebody that has reached out to me about potentially getting him on the show as well. So might be having him on for a future episode. So thank you so much for being here, man. Collector Joey, good afternoon from Florida. Yeah, Joey is on a little hiatus right now, a little trip. So unfortunately, no copper drop on Thursday, but he is in Florida.
I was looking for it. I was looking for it because usually, like, I have something I listen to every day on the commute to work or in the gym. So like, if I on a Wednesday, I'm obviously it's too late for me on a Tuesday to stay up and watch Collecting Weekly, so I'll catch on the replay on Wednesday and so on. So Friday morning I was looking for copper drop and didn't know.
Wasn't there.
Yeah,
I asked him, I was like, who's gonna be on tonight? Because like, it's hard for me. I have to wake up really early on Fridays and watch my kids on Fridays, but so I haven't really been able to get on copper drop. But Thursday night I was thinking about it, and then I see Joey's post says no copper drop. I'm like, oh shoot. Not tonight, but hopefully in the future. Yes, and a nice show to watch on a Thursday night. And then Steven with the V is here. Hey, all, welcome in, man. Thank you so much. You guys, if you have questions for Shane, toss them our way here in the chat as well as we get going. With that being said, though, we will get going with questions here. The first question that as my dogs run around in the background playing. Oh, and they're barking.
Nice.
Sorry.
I love it.
And they're barking. Hopefully they don't get too rough. But first question that I'd like to ask everybody here. First one is, can you recall the moment that you knew you were going to be a collector?
No. There was no.
Fair enough.
No, there was no. Click where I went. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to start collecting. I do remember getting figures as a kid, because I grew up like, so like I'm 83, so I grew up so like in the 80s, kind of late 80s. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles were all the rage, Transformers, Ghostbusters, and of course Batman 89 was coming out. And I do remember a specific Christmas where, as much as, you know, I had, you know, Ghostbusters figures and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle toys and stuff like that, I remember specifically, it must have been Christmas 89, because Batman was out, and I got the Batwing by, I think it was Toy Biz at the time, the Batman, the Joker, and the Batwing. And I just remember feeling really, really, really happy. Like, I'm very lucky my parents are still alive. You know, I work in a high school. I'm a high school chemistry teacher. We call it secondary school. And the more time you spend in that career, you realize that not every kid is lucky enough, you know, to have, you know, your parents alive or together or whatever like that. So it was a really warm feeling. So I didn't actually go, I'm a collector now. I was like, I'm a kid, and I recognize I like having this physical thing in my hand that from the movie or TV show I like. I specifically remember that as a kid. But you're just like, I wasn't collecting. I was just a kid with toys. I think I do remember collecting things as a kid though, like, you know, like the cereal boxes, you know, like cornflakes or whatever. You collect up a few tokens, you send away, and you just get like little monster trucks, and it was like 4 different colors. I remember thinking I'd like the complete set, or like other strange things like that, like, you know. But it was just kind of like I'd like have the full set of random other stuff, like these have call cards here. You're probably way too young to remember them. It's like the pay phones had these little things where you could buy. They looked like credit cards, and like, you know, they'd have like bands on them, or, you know, like famous poets or something like that. And you used to go up and swipe them in the pay phones. You could had credit on them, so you could make a phone call instead of having change. Used to, you know, collect those because it was like limited edition ones and stuff like that. But yeah, there was no moment where I was like, I'm a collector. But I remember being as a kid collecting things. I think when I kind of started going, oh, I'm actually I identified as a collector, whatever you want to say. Probably Power of the Force, when they did the digital special editions of the original trilogy, and they started basically re-releasing all the original stuff from you know, the original trilogy movies, but, you know, maybe slightly better figures. And I remember collecting them, and there was that dilemma: do I want to keep them in the packets? Do I want to take them out? Because it was like, it's kind of at that stage where I was like, you know, I'm 15, 16, I probably won't play with them, but I do like having them, and I'd like to take them out and pose them up. But at the same time, I think they look cool when they're all hung up in a, you know, and eventually I kind of, some of them I take out and some of them I stuck on the wall, or you know. So at that stage I was a collector, but there was no moment, there was no like, bang, I'm a collector, you know what I mean? It was kind of, I suppose, that transition from those 3 3/4 inch, and then I found some like McFarlane Matrix figures and stuff like that. I was like, man, these are mind blowing. But looking back and comparing to Hot Toys, they're not, but they were still pretty good for what they were, like, you know. So I did like collecting things, but there was no moment.
Yeah, very cool. I feel like as kids, it's just like all the companies know what they all know what they're doing marketing wise, like complete sets. I think like, I remember like all the Happy Meal stuff that used to come out of like like little cars or little characters from or whatever. Like they would just always capitalize on that stuff, like keep getting Happy Meals so you can get all the variations of whatever's in the Happy Meal, just like they've always done that type of stuff. So yeah, Power of the Force, that's like kind of what I grew up with, you know. Those are like the main Star Wars toys that I played with. So, and now they're even in the package, they did not really hold any value in the package, unfortunately. But nevertheless, really cool, and something I'll always remember too, you know, Power of the Force. Somebody else has entered the chat here. The Jedi Knights watch, beep bop beep beep boop.
You know, you can block that guy. Like, it's quite simple.
I can't. I'll get kicked out of the wolf pack now if I block him.
Hey, I always Grant is one of my favorite guys.
Yeah.
I explained that I sometimes when I've met Americans before, like Americans are, I'm gonna call you out there, they're notorious for it. I will say, like, you know, we'll get introduced and they go, what's your name? And I'm, my name's Shane. 2 minutes later they're calling me Sean. I'm like, that's not my name. So I told this to Graham, I know, one stream, and he called me Sean joking, so I called him Grant back, and it's
very nice. That's a cool story. Oh, he says he's getting ready to do family photos. Have a great time with that one. Those are always a joy. Lots of fun. Daniel Brancato has a question. Are the Hot Toys prices much higher in your country? Do you want to speak to this quickly? I know, like, I guess, like, compared to Sideshow, like, what are you looking at? What are you looking at price wise? Say like a Sideshow figure is like $220 USD. Like, what are you looking at spending on something like that if you were to get it?
Well,
like,
first
from
of all,
your currency?
I don't do it. Like, I simply
Good
don't.
answer.
I don't buy them. I will not.
Yeah.
I know people. There's a romantic notion about the mom and pop shop and all that, but you see, like, if I go into Dublin to a comic book shop, and there are, you know, there's chains, you know, like Forbidden Planet and stuff like that, and then there's smaller ones that are, you know, owned by, you know, I suppose what you consider your mom and pop, or, you know, a group of guys who start up a comic book shop and want to sell figures and stuff like that. And the problem is, like, the prices of renting those shop spaces is ridiculous. So they already have massive overheads. They got to make their money somewhere. So when you look at the price, you gotta understand, if I order something from Sideshow, let's say it's $220, right? And I pay that in whatever it is in euro, fine. Then it's like $50 to get over here. Then because that I'm ordering for something outside the European Union and it's over $100, I get another 30% on top of that if I want to do that. You know what I mean? That's not Sideshow's fault. That's just, you know, European Union import regulations. So the companies have to do that as well. They might get a bulk discount or whatever, but they then tack on their percentage. So you can imagine. So I just look at them and I go, no, I only go into those shops to look at maybe things like actually physically look at something that I might be interested. I've only seen online and reviews, but I won't buy from them, like, you know. And that's not any shade at them. That's just, hey, they're fighting their own battle. You know what I mean? I'd rather go to like Lion Rock Toys or someone who can get it over here that I don't have to pay customs, that will give me a good price. So the prices are, you imagine the price of the figure plus another $50, add probably 50% onto that if you want to walk in and have the convenience of taking something off the shelf. Yeah, it's unsustainable.
Yeah, that sucks. But good that you have a way to get them at a better rate than that.
Absolutely, because I can get it delivered at my door significantly cheaper.
Yeah, and
I won't pay customs then walking in. Yeah. There's probably, if I do the conversion, take a normal figure, I suppose I could probably order from Lion Rock, and sometimes there's wiggle room there because a review from them I get a better deal anyway. But there could be $150 to $200 difference in me getting from Lion Rock and going to Dublin and buying it off one of those comic book shops. It's just crazy, the markup.
Yeah, just not gonna do it. Where's Lion Rock located?
They're Hong Kong.
Oh, they are. Okay. Yeah. I was gonna say I have never bought from them, but that's good. That's good. You have an option. Reverse Zio was in the house. Steve, my boy, what is up, Zio? Carlos in the house. Thank you so much for being here, man.
I watched that episode. He seems like a nice guy.
Yeah, Carlos he's a pretty nice dude. I'll give him a good high on the nice scale. There you go, Carlos. Kate says, did you ever make it to, I know the answer to this one, but did you ever make it to any of the Star Wars celebrations? I know there have been a few in Europe. How many have you been to, Shane?
I've only been to the one, and that was this year, and I absolutely loved it. I knew I'd like it. And come on, it's a convention for Star Wars. Of course I'm going to like it. But I didn't realize how much I loved it. Particularly, goes without saying, the people I met, the like of, you know, Austin, Calvin, you know, Leia, all those people, like, that was fantastic. But watching the I think it's insulting calling them cosplayers. They look like, cosplay suggests like dress up costume. They looked like they walked off the movie set.
Yeah, it's next level.
Fantastic. That was some of my favorite stuff to do. So yeah, and I've been to, like, I remember randomly being in Paris, and there was a thing called Star Wars Expo happening where they had props and costumes and stuff. This was like 2005 or something, like, and just said, yeah, we're here, I'm going. And then in 1999, when episode 1 was due to drop, there was actually the place I'm going tomorrow. I'm going to the RDS tomorrow, which is a massive, like, it's a big place with a whole gigs and convention and stuff tomorrow in Dublin. And I'm going because there's a Gamer Fest on. I'm not a gamer, but it's my first official troop with the 501st, so I'm putting on the Stormtrooper outfit. But in that place in 1999, they had like a Star Wars expo. They had a real, like, Naboo Starfighter, like full scale with the animatronic Hayden, or not Hayden Christensen, Jake Lloyd in it. But so I've been to one, but I want to go to Japan. Yeah, I want to make that happen.
Yeah, nice. Cage and I went to Chicago in 2019.
Cool.
Yeah, because that's like 2 hours south of where I'm at is Chicago. So
Cool.
I just drove down there and went the whole weekend. And yeah,
That's sweet.
it was very cool. Yeah, you're right about the cosplay. Like it was next level.
Next level.
Just yeah, very very cool. Every day I was there all day, every day for 5 days. It was like that was that one was really nice because it was a longer one. So it was April 11th through the 15th. So it was literally 5 full, like almost full days. The last day was a little bit shorter, but it was like, yeah, it was a blast.
It's a lot of fun.
Yes, if it ever comes back, who knows if it's going to come back to Chicago. I don't know if they'll do Chicago again, but definitely a lot of fun. I would love to go again in the near future. Graham says people have called me Jeremy multiple times.
That's nothing
that's funny.
Nothing like Graham.
Yeah, that's funny. That's not even close. Next question here. We'll move on. Can you tell a story of one of your most memorable collecting moments?
I didn't prep my answers, but this one, I think it was when I was watching Reverse Zeo's episode. I was like, man, if he asked me that, what would I say? So, Hot Toys, I've told the story multiple times, but Hot Toys put up the pre-order photos for Peacemaker about whatever year, maybe 18 months ago or whatever. And it had the jointed arms and the body wasn't right and the faceplates were questionable and the tailoring, there was a lot wrong with it. And I remember being in the stream and we were discussing it and I said, maybe they'll update it. Maybe before it comes out, they'll update it. They'll give us the seamless joints and fix the body and head sculpt and the issues and stuff like that. Joao, Break Brother, was in the chat and he said, just in his typical, Hot Toys would never do this. If they do this, I will buy you a Peacemaker figure. He sent me the tracking during the week. So it's on the way,
nice.
and I messaged him, we're in group chats together and we stream together and stuff like that. But I messaged him a few times between when he said he'd do that and this week, just kind of going yeah, look, it was a throwaway comment. It wasn't an actual, but we didn't shake hands and it wasn't a contract. It was, you don't have to do this. But he was like, no, he was adamant, and I gave him 3 or 4 different times to get out, because
gave him a bunch of outs.
Yeah. But
man of his word.
Bloody cool. Yeah. I'm really looking forward to having
him to do that.
Yeah, so that
it's on the way.
Yeah, exactly. Just
Dang.
Keep thinking of that intro as well. So
yeah, I'm jealous. I want that figure. It's very, very. You watched the show?
Yeah. I watched. I'm not a fan of the DCU, but there are 1 or 2 movies I did quite like, and that James Gunn Suicide Squad, I loved it. I thought they hit the tone right for the kind of motley crew he had, and then I really loved the show.
Yeah, the show is I was just talking about this a couple days ago about the show makes you, or the movie really makes you hate Peacemaker, and then the show makes you love him as a character.
And that's just
good
one
writing. Of the biggest.
That's good writing.
It's
good
really
dialogue, good acting. Yeah, loved it.
Yeah, man, I remember when I was watching the Suicide Squad and I was like, this guy sucks. And then the show rolls around and you get all the backstory and then you get everything about him. And
do you know what? It's a funny thing you say that, because when I was a kid, maybe a lot of people are like this when you're a kid. You're you see the bad guy and you see the good guy, and then you see people who are they're kind of assholes, but you kind of don't really like him, the way Tony Stark would behave in Captain America Civil War. But the older I get, you need those characters that are not so clean cut. They're clean cut good guys or bad guys. They're more complex.
Yeah.
And I loved that. I loved Robert Downey's portrayal of Iron Man, and I know a lot of people go, oh, he's a bit of an ass or whatever in Civil War, but that was necessary for the story, and I find that a lot more interesting.
Yeah, the humanize, you got to humanize people. They can't just be perfect, right?
Exactly.
Yep, I agree. That's why I really liked how that that was I really like that aspect about that movie, kind of Civil War, where then you talk about Bucky and just the whole story with that, and then you have Captain America on his side, and just how they humanized the characters and had to make big decisions, and it was kind of some dark, relatable, and some dark stuff in there, obviously involving Tony's parents and stuff, but really that's the type of stuff that makes
emulate
it
life. It's nothing's clean cut, unfortunately. Not everything's binary or black and white. There's a lot of gray in the world. Sometimes there is no right answer. You just have to make the decision that your whatever, I know your gut tells you, or your heart tells you that it's the right decision at the time.
Yeah, love that. And when they do that in superhero movies or shows or what have you there. Yes, for sure. Brick Artemis is here. Man of his word. Yes. What is up, Brick? Thank you so much for being here, dude. Those characters are more real when they're not just one way or the other. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely agree. Cage says, going back to Celebration, the only thing that sucks is how bad my feet and legs hurt by the end of each day. Yeah. Seriously.
Yeah.
On your feet all day, every day. Daniel Brancato has another question here. Is there ever going to be a point, Shane, where you will have more than 3 figures per shelf?
Blasphemy.
Blasphemy.
Yeah, it's like, even this here, this is like a rarity. Like, I think that's the only time I've ever had 3 figures on the shelf has been these three short troopers, because they're 3 short troopers variants and posed slightly different ways. And I'm in a transition period at the moment because so the answer to this question is no. The answer to this question is no. I don't mind, like, every now and then, like, having 2, or in rare occasions 3 if it works and I can make it look clean. But if it doesn't, if I'm not happy with the display, I won't do it. But I try things out. If you don't try, you don't know. At the moment, I'm in a bit of a transition period because I just finished my last collection tour video, and I like to keep things fresh and move things around. For the last year, down in my living room, I have an IKEA Millsbo. It's a really, really nice black framed glass cabinet from IKEA with 8 different spaces, and I've always wanted to do like either a hero and villains display or a movie icons display. And for the last 12 months, it's been a stormtrooper display. So it was like just all troopers. It was like, the way if you go to MoMA or something like that in New York, every now and then, like, you have a section which is like the Liechtenstein exhibit or the Picasso exhibit. There's like a section, and they change.
Yeah, sure.
So like the stormtroopers have been on a show down there for the last year, and I recently just changed up for movie icons. So I got like a Batman, I got a Joker, I got a Tony Stark, a Captain America. Who else have I got down there as well? Drawing a blank here at the moment, sorry, the Terminator from the first movie, and a RoboCop. So my idea is that anyone who walks in will be able to go. It doesn't matter if you're into comic books or movies. Not, that's the Terminator. Everyone knows Terminator. That's RoboCop. Everyone knows RoboCop. That's Batman. So no matter who you are, young or old, into comic books and movies or not, you get to see that. And there's a short up on the my YouTube if anyone wants to see it. So the answer to this question is no. But at the moment, there's a bit of randomness behind me because I'm changing things around.
Yeah. Is there anything you'd like to add to changing things around? Because Graham asked a question: are you still rotating figures in and out, or are they all displayed?
The only figures not displayed at the moment, my battle damaged armored Batman from BVS. Again, not a big DCU fan, but I am a big fan of the Dark Knight Returns, that graphic novel comic, and the animated the animation they made, the cartoon they made of it, or whatever. It's insulting to call that a cartoon, but the animated version they made. And there was parts of BBS that I did appreciate when the boys eventually got down to fighting. I thought it was quite well. And I know it's a meme, but Batman's prep time, how he was, CrossFit Batman to bulk himself up to carry the armor, and how he sourced the kryptonite to make the spear and the gas. I loved all that. And then when they fought, I thought it was pretty cool. He's not on display at the moment because I've sold my Justice League Superman because I'm getting the in-app version. So he's waiting up there. So I didn't want to just pose him randomly without a Superman next to him. The Boba Fett, the Tusken Raider version is not on display, but the battle damaged post Sarlacc pit is. That's 2. Incinerator and Artillery are boxed up at the moment, and the OG Mando, because I have a Mando on display. So they're not displayed at the moment. Yeah, and everything else I own is displayed, whether it's here or on the floating shelves you can't see, or downstairs. So yeah, I'm doing a bit of rotating.
Yeah, nice. I need that armored Batman. I'm starting to dabble more into DC, but
this is a slippery slope. I see it.
It is.
I watch
know.
you, man. Being
very, very careful.
Hanging around with
very careful.
Now
I also just got into like the Spider-Man 2 line. Because like I'm a big video game fan. I think we talked about this too when I was on your show. And, like I'm really big into video games, so that line is. I just started. Yep, I'm probably 2.5, 3 hours into the game.
Cool. Enjoying it?
Yeah, it's really good. It's really good game.
That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah, the first 2 are really good. This one is like, it seems like this one's going to be better just based on like all the abilities and stuff you get, and just like the story. Even like the first couple hours, the story's like, it's like movie quality the way that they're doing like the cutscenes and the action and stuff. Like it's very cool. I won't spend too much time talking about it, but Brick says, watching this instead of playing Spider-Man. What a great segue. While my kids are napping, does not disappoint. Well, thank you so much for taking the time away, Brick, from Spider-Man 2 and watching this show, which is better than the game anyways. Daniel says he's the same when it comes to, 3 figures per shelf. I still need to get that Shore Trooper squad leader. I know you can get him like at a really good price right now. That is one I still need to get, but yes, I love the look of those 3 together.
Yeah, that's the next armor that I would like to get, like 1-to-1. I've been pricing around, like whether to, like, you see, something, I bought my first one, my TK from A New Hope, and there's something about it, I'd like to build one, you know, and make it myself, like, but it's like that, investing in materials and getting them 3D printed and then weathering it and painting it, and then if I make a mistake, and you know, there's that nervousness about doing it. But I love the Shore Trooper, and particularly the squad leader, because it has less armor. It doesn't have the tie armor, I don't think, so that means it's easier to sit down. You can't sit down in the Stormtrooper armor, you just can't.
Oh dang, I didn't know that.
No, you can't.
Makes sense with how the armor looks, and like
yeah.
That's funny. Did you so was your armor kit like the one that you got for like the TK, was that full kit already ready to go, basically?
Ready to go.
Dang.
I've done a lot of modding to it in the last literally the last few weeks, because I bought it off a company called Shepperton Studios. So in 1976 Shepperton Studios were contracted to make the molds, basically the armor pieces for the Stormtroopers, for the extras, and for Luke and Han and stuff, you know. And so it's cast from the original molds, and how you know is that there's this weird dimple on the bicep parts, just looks like a little imprint, and that's because the story goes that when they were making the molds, the guy by accident put a thumbprint on the original molds, so now every single bicep part has a little thumbprint in it, which is hilarious. But yeah, I bought that, and it's ready to rock, but I've done a lot of modding to make it more simple things. The helmet is pretty much empty when you get it. Like, you cannot see out through those bubble lenses, so I've replaced them. I've padded up the inside of the helmet so it sits a bit better. Lots more Velcro to keep that belt on. It's quite heavy. It comes with like a black morph suit, which is uncomfortable and not fitted enough either. It's weird. It's thin, but it's not fitted. So I've bought like kind of separate Under Armour pieces for that. But it's ready to rock for tomorrow. And it's a lot more comfortable than it was. I'm really looking forward to it.
Very cool. I was going to say I knew about the thumbprint thing because I was doing I did a lot of research maybe a couple years ago when I was thinking about like getting a kit. I never went through with it, but I remember the story. I was like, and then you were saying it, I'm like, so it is true with the thumbprint.
It's
the
cool
original
story,
molds. Yeah, that is a really cool, that is a really cool story, and a cool way to know like with the mold that you're getting. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
I think we'll have to chat about that because I'd be interested in like getting a kit of, do they just do troopers?
That studio, God, I think they definitely do. They do different types of troopers. There's the stunt, which I think it's a bit more comfortable and a bit more, it's easier to walk and stuff in it. My one's the hero, which I believe is based on the ones that say Han and Luke had, because they'd be a bit closer up. I can't remember. I think they just do armors.
Yeah, sure.
And they might do a few helmets as well, but I don't think they do scouts or like, you know, ending clones or shories or anything. But there's always someone who will. There's always someone. They're out there.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's so many people out there that are doing stuff now, especially with 3D printers so much on the rise the past few years. Everybody's printing stuff. So very cool. Very cool, man. Congratulations. Good. That's gonna be your first. That's gonna be like your first official one, right?
First official.
Yeah.
TK66. 546, so 66 for Order 66, and then 546 for my preference of the original trilogy movies. So.
Nice. Very cool, man. Very cool. Well, congratulations. And we got, yes. Mike Pause Literus is in the house. I'm late. Sorry. Hello, fellas. Michael. That's a much easier way to say it than the way that I say it.
Michael.
Hello, Mike. Michael.
Yeah.
Welcome in, man. Thank you so much for being here. Do not apologize for being late. We will move on to the next question here. What is your collecting philosophy and how do you navigate the hobby? I usually, I usually bring up, this is like a kind of I feel like a challenging question, because right now I always say, every time I ask somebody this question, the market right now is just so crazy with what's going on, with how figures are, so many people selling stuff, and you can't sell things, for very good prices right now, as opposed to a few years ago. This post-COVID has been obviously like completely different as opposed to what it was like in the past. So yeah, what are your thoughts on this here, Shane?
I love this question. And it's a funny one, because in my channel, it's a very kind of a selfish channel. I like editing videos. I love collecting. I like the process of editing. I find it therapeutic. I like the streaming and communicating with our collectors. But essentially, I talk about the things I like. I try not to give direct advice, because that's a slippery slope, especially like I mentioned Lion Rock Toys, and I buy from them. I've been very transparent. Like, if I get a figure from them and they give it to me at a better deal, and then I review it, and I'm saying it, but I don't care who buys from wherever. Like, it's not my position to tell people where to buy from or whatever. It's up to them to do their own research as, educated adults,
Agreed.
And I think that's kind of similar when it's philosophy. Like, but the way I look at this, there's kind of three things. So there's the triple threat, there's the 10-year, and then there's display. So start off really simple. If I can't if I can't display, I do not pay. Basically, if there's something out there that I know I will not have space for, or I know I cannot visualize it in this room, it's not that big, then I don't pay for it. Because look, I love a Batwing 89. I ogled that Jazz Inc. website more times than I can count. The payment plans, I could have made it happen. Money wasn't the issue, but I would not be able to display it in a way that did it justice. So if I can't display, I simply do not pay. So that's one thing. The second thing is, you're about to buy something. Will you like that in 10 years time? Will you like it in 5 years time? Great question to
ask yourself.
You know what I mean? Like, I'll give you a perfect example.
Yeah.
The DX13, the Terminator. I remember being very, very sick when I was 8. Like, not just normal. Like, I wasn't ill or anything like that, but sick. Like, everyone gets sick. And I remember on the couch, and I was being spoiled. Like, mom bringing me like toast and tea and stuff like that. And I had the remote. They were like, you're sick. You choose. And I remember watching Terminator 2, loving it. I remember thinking, there's no way that I'd be allowed to watch this movie if I wasn't sick and they were spoiling me a bit. But like, I love that movie, and I will always love that movie. It still holds up. Likes of RoboCop, the Dark Knight, that stuff, that's slam dunk. Like, I will always like that stuff, I think, forever. An artillery trooper, an incinerator trooper. I love troopers. I bought them, but they're not displayed now, and maybe I sell them. So, and you're not always going to get everything perfect. Like, but yeah, will you like it in 5 years' time? Will you like it in 10 years' time? And then the last piece is very simple. 90% of the stuff I have, maybe more, follow their triple threats. I need to love the character, love the source material, and love that version. So just an easy example, probably the most obvious example lately, that Mark III diecast 2.0. Love the character, love the source material. Come on, how could you not like the first MCU movie? And love that particular version of Mark III. The word iconic gets thrown around. It is 100% iconic. It has stood the test of time and will continue to do so. Like Batman 89, like Terminator, like RoboCop, like the first Matrix movie. So yeah, that's my philosophy. Triple threats. Make sure you can display if you're willing to pay. And will you like this in 5 years' time? Will you like it in 10 years' time?
Dude, I love that answer. I love that answer so much.
Thank you.
That's yes, that is a really, really good answer, and like something I'm actually probably gonna think about now, because yeah, I don't like put that. I guess like I like to objectify things like that to try to help myself out, for certain things too. But like, I don't do it to that level. I like that. And you're reminding me that I'm probably going to buy the Mark III, because it ticks those boxes for me too. I need one. I need one. I need one Iron Man. And what I'm proud, like, that's the one I'm going to get at some point, probably in a few months time, but, I'll probably do that one, and then the Battle Damage 85, so I can have the beginning and the end. That's what I want for Iron Man. I just want Mark III standing next to Battle Damage, and probably in that pose, beginning it.
The fusions, man. Like that I just use an app on my phone, and that comes on. He's all lit up, and it's just like,
that is cool.
It's worth a few dollars for it, So, but on that, just before we before we finish up on that part, doing that, I find, helps me make better decisions. But I didn't always have that like kind of locked in. That comes with time, like, and I've definitely made missteps. And then I don't tend to sell that often, but I have sold figures, and I'll do it again. But that's kind of refining the collection and stuff like that. And there are those missteps you learn from. You're like, okay, why did you get that figure? Why did you sell the figure? How do we stop repeating that, if you know what I mean? Not that I care too much. I know a lot of people say like, oh, I bought this figure for $300 and then I sold it for $200. I took a loss. You could look at it that way or go, that $100 is, the price you paid for having it in your collection. Enjoy it for 3 years or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. And I would say, like, I think too, I mean, in most other, I think we always want figures to retain value. Like, you want to buy something for $300, you want to be able to sell it for $300. But if you look at a lot of other hobbies, things that people buy, like, a lot of value just goes out the window, right? It's 100%. Like a car. You drive it off the lot, the value of the car.
At least 10% gone.
Yes, gone. So like you're losing. Yeah. So I think as collectors, it's not unrealistic to think that you're going to be losing a little bit of value if you open up a figure. It's used at that point. Like people, I don't really think like there should be an expectation that it's always nice when it sells the same amount of money. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I feel like for me, if I buy something for $300 and 4-5 years down the road, I decide to sell it and I can get $200 out of it with it being an older figure and something that I got to enjoy for that amount of time, but I'm moving on from it. Should I expect, to get $300 out of it? It'd be great. I would love that. It's always nice when something retains value, but it's not always realistic.
Absolutely.
I think. So that's
and
really good.
The only way they will is if they go, right, we're numbering everything and limiting the quantities, because it's a tale as old as time. It's supply and demand. Yeah. You limit the supply, and the demand increases. The price is going to increase, but like they're not numbered. So, But then the flip side, you look at that. I made a stupid decision during the week. I went and rewatched Joker again, and I was like, oh man. I guess Graham made the point. I think you and Dilo and Graham and Brick were talking about this, and it's not a movie you can just throw on and go, it's been a hard day at work. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go home and watch the Joker because it's intense. It's depressing. It's a real dark movie. You got to be able to withstand that intensity for 2 hours. But I rewatched it. Still think it's a fantastic movie, and now I'm thinking, oh god, that inert Joaquin Joker. But if let's say you take the price out of it, trying to get them could be difficult because it's going to be limited. So then sometimes I ask myself, would you rather something limited or would you rather something that's accessible? And to be honest, I think I'd rather something be accessible so I could get it, but
yeah, that's one where it's like, it's so limited. Like when they outprice other things, like, this is a difference between like, they drop a, Joaquin Phoenix Joker for $300 versus they drop this set that's going to be over $1,000 USD because Warner Brothers says for the license that you has to be over 1,000. Like that's when it kind of like, it's great that it's limited, but at the same time, like it's going to price people out. And for me, I don't care enough about that version of the Joker to buy 3 of them at that price point.
And that's a great way of putting it. Like, how much do you care about it? I think they
like, I already have the like the rooted 2-pack, and I'm like, I love that version of the Joker. Don't get me wrong, but I've contemplated like, what one do I want to keep? Because I could sell one. I've contemplated that, like having 2 of one character to that level of price is hard to justify when there's other stuff that I want, let alone having 3 of them, getting a third body and then having 3 of them. A couple people in the chat here. Agent Silverfox, hey guys, been doing DIY and forgot about the time. Let's see what this Irishman has to say. Yes, I know he's on your streams a lot, so welcome in, man. Thank you so much for being here. Both Jedi and Brick say great advice. Yes, great answer. I really, really enjoyed that answer. I'm going to go back and listen to it every time before I buy a figure now.
I feel like I'm scolding.
I'm going to say, what did Shane say? If this doesn't take one of these boxes, that's a no. I'm not doing it. TK Magic Shop is in the house. What is up, man? Thank you so much for being here. That's why I enjoy figures to the fullest. Yes, always posing them, doing little animations with them, just constantly changing the room around. Yeah, I haven't had a lot of time to do that. I need to. I've been looking at some of my stuff. Like, I want to switch some things up, but I've also got some figures coming in, so I'm sure that will happen once I get
extremely therapeutic.
Yes. Editing too. Like, I don't like editing, but I get what you're saying too about how, like the process of editing is like I like doing structured things like that. You know, there's just like a flow to it where it's just like yeah, it helps, like it's relaxing to me
Yeah, I
somewhat.
get
It's
that.
time consuming and it's not necessarily like fun, but like it is like doing a task like that helps me. I feel like Jedi says I still haven't watched The Joker a second time. I've only seen it once as well. That was one of those movies I saw and like, yeah, I was like, man, this is a heavy movie and
is heavy.
it's sad. It's sad because a lot of the tones and
Yeah.
themes in the movie are realistic to what actually is
Absolutely,
going on in society in some aspects. So I was like, this is like, you can talk about real life stuff when it comes to this movie and you don't always want to like consume that. You know, you have a limit
Yeah.
when it comes to
So,
consuming
some
that.
movies though, I've seen some fantastic movies that I probably will never rewatch again. Just
Yeah.
off the top of my head, Requiem for a Dream. I watched that once and it is a fantastic movie, but I don't ever want to watch it again. It made me that
Never seen it.
uncomfortable.
Never seen it.
Irreversible as well. Oh, that well-made movie, a unique way of storytelling, but the subject matter, no, I'll never watch that again. Joker is not as intense as those, but I can see why people maybe wouldn't go back to it. You know.
Yeah, I feel like it's a worthy movie. I feel like it's honestly a worthy movie to watch, even if like you're not necessarily into like DC and stuff,
Yeah.
the way that they show the character and portray the character. I feel like anybody could gain something from that movie, but yeah, same with like war movies and stuff. You know, it's not something where I'm like, I want to go back. Like usually like it's like it's good. It's like good to see the story and stuff and like how they portray it, but it's not like, oh, that movie was so great, I want to go watch it again. Unless it's Top Gun Maverick. That's one that I'll go. That's one that I'll go back and watch.
Speaking
I think
my
I've seen
language,
it. I think I've seen it like
man.
4 times.
Brought cinema back to life.
Yes,
Love
I remember when I saw that movie. I went to go see. I was home for the day. I forget why. I had a random day off work. My kids were at daycare and my wife was working, and I was like, I'm gonna go see Multiverse of Madness. So I went the theater, and like I have like a theater in my basement, so I don't watch a ton of movies at the theater, but I went, it's like 5 minutes down the road from my house. So I saw Multiverse of Madness, and then I came home and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go see Top Gun.
Good.
So like I went back.
Yeah.
I just bought tickets both times that day and just like
Yeah.
ended up going back. I'm like, I want to see Top Gun, and I'm going to Top Gun, that movie. One of the top 3 movies that I've seen in a theater, I think.
I love that. I love that you
absolutely
went to the cinema on your own, because I do that. And
Yeah.
I love that, like, you were like, you know, it's my day off. I'm going to see 2 movies. You know,
I'm
you
going
need that,
again.
You know, you
Yeah.
work hard enough. You're a father as well. That's good. I
Yeah.
like that.
Yep. Yes. Usually I don't go to the movies because, like I said, I'll just sometimes movies aren't. They have to be like John Wick 4. I went to see in a theater. It has to be a really good movie that I'm gonna go see in theater. Otherwise, I'll just wait for it to come out so I can just watch it in my basement. But nevertheless, yes, great movie. Brick says such an amazing film. I'll rewatch it before the sequel is out. He must be talking about the Joker. TK Magic Shop says it's a very good movie to study for mental health students. Yeah, I would agree. Band of Brothers, have you seen this, Shane?
Oh my God. Love it.
Yes,
Love
I
it.
loved this series
Yeah.
as well. It
Love
was
it.
very good. Very,
I haven't
very
watched
good.
it in about, God, I think maybe 20 years, or when it first came out. Like,
Yeah.
it can't be 20 years, but it could be.
Yeah,
My
I think
father had
I think it was early 2000s, right?
That's 20 years.
Somebody in the
I know.
chat can check. Maybe Google when Band of Brothers came out.
You know,
I think it's
what's
early
so
2000s.
good? That the people who, like, say, the characters in the movie, like, they looked. I think they were real life characters, weren't they?
Yeah, they show them at
And
the end of the
they
end of
looked-
the show.
My God, they looked like them. They
Yeah.
actually looked. The casting, the actors looked like the people they were supposed to play so well.
Yeah, I remember right at the end they do the credits and it shows the actor and then it puts like a picture of the real character they're portraying next to them. And I remember that. I thought the same thing. Yes, everyone's saying year of 9/11, 2001. So 22 years ago. Crazy. Let me see here. Let me look at a couple other chats here. Yeah, Brick is saying, yeah, Band of Brothers best war show. Joker was so realistic. It was literally about mental illness, which is what made it tough. Daniel says, Shane, is it football or soccer?
It's, that's a funny question. Normally, it's football, but In Ireland, we have like our own Irish sport called Gaelic football, which is played with a ball, just similar to same size really as a soccer ball, but you're allowed to pick it up and solo it, and you score points and goals. So depending on the context of the conversation, you could say football, but people will know you're talking about soccer, or they'll know you're talking about Gaelic football. But yeah, football. Yeah, I'd say football.
Yeah, I feel like some Americans need to understand that football is way bigger in your neck of the woods than like North American football is like is not as massive as a scale as like European football, aka what we call soccer. Like people don't understand I feel like some people don't understand the magnitude of like what that is over there. So yes, I would knowing what I know about it, I would be more on the lines of calling soccer football if it were my choice. But
it'd be easier to distinguish, I suppose, over there.
Yes, largest sport in the world. Yes, like I remember I've watched like a couple documentaries on it because I was so interested. And people are like, I thought people like over here were next level about some sports. Like no, people like worship these teams, and people are like literally divided on the streets and stuff because of this next level. You probably know way more. You could speak to this way more than than I could, but yes, crazy. But anyways,
I like Graham's question.
Let me see. Hold on. I didn't get it to load. Here we go. Oh yeah, Irish whiskey or Scotch. I didn't see it on my end. There it is.
I could be disowned for answering this. With Irish whiskey, you need to really get an old one. Like a normal Jemmy wouldn't cut it. It would have to be like 20-year-old or more, nice and smooth. But Scotch, I'd probably say Scotch. Yeah.
There you have it. There you have it, Graham. He will love you answering that question, I'm sure. So like I asked, when I was with Graham and Brick too, I was talking about like Irish whiskey. So like, is it just because it's made in Ireland? Like, is there any other thing that would define like an Irish whiskey over a different type of whiskey in your mind?
No, I don't think so. And again, Graham can correct me if I'm wrong here. Actually, TK Magic Shop there, McGregor's Proper 12. No, that's toilet cleaner. I wouldn't go near it. That's not whiskey. Look, with it, basically Scotch is just Scottish whiskey as far as I know. I know that there's different ways of like using different barrels and stuff like that for different flavors, and there's smoky and non-smoky and stuff like that. But my understanding is that I think the fermentation process, or the chemistry of it, is more or less the same, but just Scotch is Scottish whiskey. That, again, I could be wrong on that, but
they'll be able to tell you. I don't know much about it. I just drink whatever I feel like tastes the best, and that's what I like.
Yep.
But I will say, when I was over there taste testing some stuff at Jedi's house, like there's differences between some of the like older stuff, and like it was good. Now Brick is saying Proper 12 or Jameson. Well, it's definitely not Proper 12. I have
never and never will drink Proper 12. Like, from people that know a lot more about whiskey than me, with whiskey, like there's a reason why a 20-year-old Jameson or a 50-year-old costs more than your standard, because it's aged more, and as it aged more, it's smoothened and stuff like that. But that Proper 12, like I'd say that's like a year old, or like it's only aged for 3 years or something like that. I've heard like that it's just dirt, and I wouldn't.
Great marketing.
Jameson all the way. Yeah.
Jameson, great Proper 12, great marketing. Jedi says where it's made and Scotch is distilled twice, Irish whiskey 3 times.
Ah, right. I see.
Have you had Bushmills 10?
I have. I would not be an expert. I have had it, but my go-to, I like Jameson Black Barrel, or there used to be like I think it was a 20-year-old Jameson, but I think it's harder to get now for some reason. Like, I could be wrong in that. Glenfiddich, I like Glenfiddich. That's Scotch or Scottish whiskey. Glenlivet, I think there's Glenmorangie as well. They're all Scottish, I believe. So. Yeah, but my go-to for just having like a whiskey would normally be just probably a Jameson 20. Like if I had to buy a bottle for myself, that's what I go with.
Wow, I'm learning so much today. Thank you all. Thank you all.
And I love a whiskey sour.
It's good to hear it from an Irishman.
That's good
You know
stuff.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, whiskey sour.
Whiskey
man.
sour, yeah. It's a cocktail made with whiskey, egg yolk. It doesn't sound appealing. And then
it's
like
good.
sugar, and I think it's lemon bitters. But my God, it is delicious.
Oh, that's funny. There's a distillery 2 minutes walk from my house, handy and dangerous. Yes,
Yeah, walking there is
yes.
2 minutes, walking back's
Yes.
2 hours.
Yeah. Yeah. I was gonna say you answered the first part, but we gotta go. What's the walk back?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny. Okay, next question here. So we talk about like, a lot of, I want to bring it back to figures. I usually have one question just about figures. Do you have a top 3? And do you have a number 1? I feel like a lot of people don't like have a number 1, especially if you have a lot of figures, but what are your thoughts on this one here?
Yeah, and I'm gonna a little think about that. Okay, so straight away when you ask something like that, what pops into my head is the diecast Iron Man Mark 6. Because as much as the 85 is iconic and as much as the Mark 3 is iconic and they're both beautiful, the Mark 6 it's my favorite suit. Sweet spot between armor, but it's leaner look than more angular design than say the Mark 3 chest. So the Mark 6, my first diecast Iron Man as well, so that comes to mind. The DX13 Terminator, just like as much as old as that figure is, I love battle damage and weathering. It's heavily weathered, heavily battle damaged. Comes with 2 different coats. It has, the swap out battle damage arm from an amazing movie. Yeah, so I'm going to say the Mark 6, the DX13. I cannot have this conversation and not recognize the beauty of the in-art Joker. I know I'm sick of talking about it, but I'm not sick of appreciating how amazing it is. Like, it's literally like, this one is just within arm's reach of me. Like, it's just there, and I just, even picking it up, like, and feeling the body is not budging. It's just so solid, and I feel that the die-cast chain and the weaponry, I gotta say, I think my top 3 figures, if you put me in a spot, I'd probably go the in-art Joker rooted, the purple coat version, the Iron Man Mark 6, and probably the DX13. Number 1, I think really what you're asking there is if I had to sell everything, what would I keep? And I'm thinking like, if I had to sell in, what would I keep? I think I'd probably keep the in-art Joker. I think I would. And that'd be it. And just be sitting there and
dang crazy.
Yeah. It is, yeah.
Those are nice choices. Nice choices. Now to mix it up even more, Brick says, keep, sell, burn. What would you pick? Keep 1, sell 1, burn 1.
Oh God.
We were just talking about this as a game. Within our with
okay, keep,
the Wolfpack.
sell.
What would you for these 3 grails
Oh,
that you have?
This is my answer. Because you got to think, if you're only keeping 1, you got to think it can't be a companion piece. It has to be a real triple threat, a real ultimate. Like, if you only have 1, this would look cool in your office or whatever, in a nice cabinet. I think I'd keep the Mark 6 because reselling it now, you won't get anything with the new Mark 6 2.0 coming out. I'd sell the DX13 before I know Hot Toys 2.0 it if they ever do, or InArt might do it, because you get decent money for that. Mine's in pretty much perfect condition. I burned the InArt Joker because we would get some awesome views. I'd live stream it.
It would grow the channel for sure.
Yeah, there you go.
Live stream it.
Yeah,
had to burn 1. Here it is.
Had to burn 1. Yeah, that's what I do. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
you
it was
could,
my favorite figure, but I burned it. Yeah. Shocking.
Burned it. This is what it looks like when you burn an in-art figure.
Yeah.
It'd be an interesting video, but that one would bring a lot of
that would get hate views.
Heat, no pun intended, to the channel.
Yeah, I like that.
Good answer. Good answer. I like that. No, that's funny. Miami's Nemesis in the house. Chris, what is up, man? Thank you for being here. That is funny. X-Man Supreme is in the house. Oh man, wake up from a nap and realize you're already an hour into a live with some of your favorite collectors. No worries, man. Thank you so much for tuning in on a Saturday. I usually don't do this show on a weekend, so I appreciate you all tuning in. Yes, Brick, I literally laughed out loud.
That makes me happy.
Yes, that is a good one. That is a good one. TK Magic Shop said a couple of his favorites. Number one for me, Spider-Man Advanced Suit or DX23. Yes, both great ones. Or Miles. Yeah. Oh, that was good. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. You would, if you could keep one in the collection and not have anything else in our Joker, but if you could burn one in our Joker,
also in our Joker
for the views. Oh, I love it. Okay, we'll move on to the next question here. Chat, if you guys have questions, please keep them coming because it's very entertaining. What is something that you want to improve upon as a collector, if anything?
That is a tricky question. Oh my god, I was thinking there was something else that popped into my head. There was something popped into my head a while ago about that, because again, I heard this on another episode you did.
And you start thinking about it.
Yeah, what was it? I thought I had something that was kind of going, that'd be kind of cool. Improve upon as a collector. I think maybe I touched on it earlier on. Like, while I don't sell much. I know people, like, sometimes people get into figures and, you know, they take some for 3 months and sell and stuff like that. I'd like to get even more refined with my selection process. Like, I think I've you know, I don't get it right all the time, but, like, you know, yeah, 99% of the time it's like something comes into collections there for the long term, but maybe get a little bit more even refined on that. And even be a bit more disciplined on multiples of figures, you know? Because there was a time I was en route to having 9 Spider-Man. I don't need 9 Spider-Man. Don't need it as, and you know, it wouldn't make sense. Like, so I passed on a few Spider-Man. So I think there's that. Like, you know, I do have a few Iron Man, multiple Iron Man, and but like I think I'd like to get a bit better at that. Maybe going, you don't need that one there, and just kind of sticking to your favorite, like 2 or 3 or something like that. I think posing is always one.
Everyone always says that one. I feel like, or the majority of people that come on here say posing is, I feel like everybody. I feel like people don't give themselves enough credit. But at the same time, you always want to be better and make it look better.
Yeah, of course,
you know what I mean?
Like, the way I see it is, like, I don't think like say I'm happy with the way it looks. You know, I don't think any of the figures I look at and go, oh god, they look awkward. You know what I mean? I prefer like the kind of character pose where it's just like, it looks like a natural stance or pose that particular character would be in. But I would like to elevate it a bit more, where you have a bit more dynamic and still looks like a natural dynamic pose, if that makes sense. I don't need Vader doing backflips or anything like that, but just maybe a bit more creativity, I suppose, with the posing. Like, as in this one I really like. Because he's standing on the remnant trooper and he's got his, you know, that open. It's great that they give us 3 different mouth plates for that, like, and it's great that he's roaring and it just looks like a very natural pose for me. I like that. But then again, if you look at the Ahsoka here, that's bothering me because I don't like the pose in it. So I want to swap out the poncho on that and put in a bit more of a dynamic pose, maybe, or something different. Yeah,
I kind of like I like museum pose, but I like kind of like, I don't like super dynamic stuff, but I like kind of the in between too. Like what you said, like kind of like in between museum and dynamic, but also still making it look like it's kind of realistic. I feel like that Cat Bane pose is a good one. That describes that for sure. TK Magic Shop says lighting. He keeps seeing these new ideas after investing so much in the DTOFs. Yeah, there's a lot you can do lighting wise. Oh, there you go. CCF. He's making some CCFLs. He wants more LED lights that don't look cheesy. Shane, what lights do you have?
I've got the Luke lights. The reason I went for them is, well, obviously they're custom made for DTOFs. The translucent wires are thin enough, and obviously translucent, they're easy to hide. They come with grey cable ties, which are the same grey of the support, the metal support frames of the DTOFs. Also USB powered, which I like. Relatively affordable. I like the white light look. And there's another thing as well. One thing I really like is that they're naturally angled at a 45-degree angle facing down on the figures with the diffuser. Because one thing I don't like is that kind of Christmas light effect when you can see every single. That distracts me a bit. And downstairs, like, I have something like that. There's a diffuser on it, but I can still see them. It's not Luke lights downstairs because they're not DTOFs, but that's starting to distract me a little bit. So I might have to look into improving on that, you know, so.
Yeah, those aluminum channels with the diffusers look like I'm the same when it comes to the Luke lights. Like, that's what I have a couple DTOF. I got rid of 3 of my 5 DTOFs. I have some like over here by my desk with some like video game stuff in it. But yeah, they have the Luke lights in them, and I did the exact same as you, like the cool white with the diffusers and like the 45-degree angle for me. I didn't really like. I guess I never lit my DTOFs. I had them when I collected other stuff, but I never realized, I guess, with like the 45-degree angle, how much of a difference it would make with the lighting. I agree, like you nailed it with like the Christmas light effect. That's not for me either. So I feel like Luke lights are probably the cleanest look when it comes to DTOFs. They're a little pricey compared to like some of the other ones you can get, but I feel like it was worth it for me because the look of them is so clean.
Pro tip as well, if anyone's out there with a bunch of DTOFs and they're considering getting the Luke lights, they sell out quickly. What you do is you put in an expression of interest and you get an email straight away when they've got a new batch. Don't order them separately, because even though you might order the exact same Luke lights in the same color, you have the choice between the cool white or a warmer tone. There might be slight differences in the actual tone and stuff like that, because it's all to do with is it Kelvin, or is it Kelvin, the temperature?
Yeah, like the color temperature.
So if you have 6, don't order 3 and 3 or 5 and 1. Save up, get all, and order all 6 at the same time. Like,
I forgot about that. Yeah, when I bought mine, like they were sold out on their website. I actually messaged them on Facebook and said, "Hey, I'm looking to purchase X amount of lights, and like, can you guys check it?" That's how they invoiced me actually through Facebook. That's how I ended up getting mine. I messaged them on there. So I don't know how often they do that, but I just wanted to put that out there because they were out of stock for a while, and finally I was just like, I'm gonna reach out to them and see what their ETA is. Right. And then they were like, "We'll send you an invoice. We have," like, they didn't have them in stock on their website. But the person, whoever replied back to me, said, "Let me check." And they got back to me and said, "Yeah, we have these. We'll send them out to you and invoice you." So it worked out.
Sometimes you're better off like nearly bypassing the website and just go straight
I
to
usually do.
Contact directly.
Yeah. I just feel like, especially in like when it comes to 6-scale collecting, there's a lot of avenues to especially Facebook is a really good way. And I feel like Instagram too. Like you can reach out to some of these places directly a lot easier that way. Rather than going, I don't like emails. Like it's crazy because it used to be like you have to send somebody a letter in the mail. And then like email came out and you're like, oh, email is so much faster. Now like sometimes email has become the snail mail when it comes to some of this stuff, it seems like. So you just like try to contact somebody fast. But I'm the same way.
Now you can literally voice note them. Hey, got any of those Luke lights left? It's crazy.
Yeah, you send a voice message to them and they'll get it basically immediately. So yes, Luke lights, great lights. Boba Fettuccine is in the house. What's up, guys? I interviewed Paul what day was that? Tuesday?
I think it. He's a gentleman.
Yes, that was a great interview. I had it. Yes, I loved chatting with him. You guys can go check out that past episode, which was episode 10. He says Luke lights are awesome. Have them in my DTOFs. Excellent lights. Caleb Miller, Knight of Ren is in the house. What's up? What is up, man? Thank you for being here. TK Mad Shop says, I'm glad you said that. Great advice. Yes, you are welcome. Boba says, heading out to Frank and Sons here in LA to pick up my Hot Toys Doc Ock once you guys are done. Yes, I'd be curious to see what he thinks about that figure. That one's, I know people have differing opinions. They think the figure's great. Yep. I feel like everybody kind of says the figures, the accessories, the tentacles are all good. Everybody has obviously a different opinion on the head sculpt. So I will be curious to see what he thinks about that one. A couple questions here from chat as well. First one here, X-Man Supreme says, okay, Shane, what's the figure you want that hasn't been made?
Catwoman.
Oh, there you go.
Yep, straight away. Zoe Kravitz.
Oh, so you're high on that movie too, Batman.
Yeah, it's like, I remember driving to work. It was 2019, probably around this time, 2019, and I heard on Irish radio they were talking about it because they picked up the story because Colin Farrell and of course Barry Keoghan had that deleted scene, and they were like, oh, apparently there's a new Batman movie coming out, and I was already like, can we just forget about it for 20 years? Let it go. There are other movies, other superheroes, other original stories, but then when I watched it, I was like, you know what? There'll always be a different take and different visions, different angles, and I really liked it. And I thought it was strange the way they haven't done her, even though it's going to be extremely difficult to capture her beauty. But they should They should. The bat and the cat, you know.
With her short hair, like they could make it look. Yeah, I feel like they could. It wouldn't be hard for them to like really do. I feel like
Sabine,
yeah,
short hair.
they've been, and like the female characters, they've been doing a great job. So it's also surprising they just haven't done anything else from that movie. You know, I'm just because I love that's one of my favorite Batman movies. You know, it's up there as my favorite. Just loved it. So, are you getting the Batman Bat Cycle, any of that stuff?
I'm not getting the Bat Cycle. I wasn't gone on the Bat Cycle. I get why they had it so simple, because it was very real world feeling. I get that. But I just thought it was just a black motorcycle, so it didn't really do anything for me. Whereas I love the Bat Pod because it's just so weird.
Yeah, unique. Yeah.
But
Fair enough.
I got the Hot Toys All-In set. I love the fact that like in just one package you can get the Signal, the modular base, and then the figure. It's just, if it turns out as good as prototype, it's going to be fantastic. But yeah, I wasn't going to, but I'm going to pick up the single rooted Batman from InArt as well, and we'll see what happens, which I like better or whatever. Yeah, so...
Damn it. You're just like me. I'm like, so you said you haven't ordered anything yet?
No, I've paid off the Hot Toys version.
Oh, you did the all-in?
Yeah, and
that's the one I pre-ordered as well.
Line Rocker sorting me out for the single. Yeah.
Oh, so you're getting the Hot Toys and you're getting the rooted InArt?
Yeah, the single. Yeah, I think the pack. Yeah. Exactly.
Oh, okay. So the single, like with the rooted, like with his, with the Pattinson.
I've been really impressed by what I've seen there.
Dang it, man!
It seems to get better and better.
Oh my gosh, I mean? This is exactly what I want to do. So like I did the same. I was like, I didn't really know what one I wanted to get, and then I started tinkering with the idea of like, at first I was like, I want to get the InArt, excuse me, the InArt rooted version, and have him just like holding the cowl. And I was like, I watched the movie again. I was like, man, I really like this movie. Excuse me. I really like this movie. And then I saw the Hot Toys All-In version is, at least where I get figures from, like it's cheaper than just getting the single rooted. So I'm like, man, I'm just going to do the All-In Hot Toys version. But I'm still like, I want this InArt rooted because I want to do one where he's on, like, I'm getting the Bat Cycle too. So one where he's by the Bat Cycle. But we'll see. I didn't get the single rooted yet. We'll see. We'll see.
And that's the thing, you're already thinking about like how you're going to display them. So it's like, you know, it's that's kind of cool as well. Like just, you know, okay, I'm ordering this figure. How am I going to display that? And that is something I find that's like, do you know Tetris? You know, obviously you know Tetris. Right?
Yeah,
it's
of course.
Super question. But you know, that's satisfying when you've like built up a few blocks and then you get the one you want and it slots down and boom, everything disappears. And like, yeah, that's how I feel when after futzing with the collection and going, that's not going to make sense there. That's going to look too random there. Those troopers aren't going to make sense. They need you together. When I rechange things and a new figure comes in and everything's displayed and you get that moment of Tetris, you know what I mean? That's like everything's at peace. And, you know, I love that little buzz, like, you know.
Yeah. Oh man. Now I gotta, you're like the only one that I think has agreed with me on that. I haven't talked to too many other people who are going the both route. You know what I mean? I didn't expect that you would say that.
But this is the thing. Like it's, again, I do consider myself a disciplined collector, but I still have multiple versions of Iron Man. I still have multiple versions of, you know, Spider-Man or whatever. Well, actually, I currently only have one Spider-Man, which is good, but there are multiples coming. And I might just get a stage where we're going, okay, I prefer the InArt rooted, or then I could go, I prefer having the all-in. And I might reach a stage where I'm going, no, this is the one I'm going to keep and I'm going to pass the other one on and sell it or whatever like that. I don't know, like, you know what I mean? It's that's one I'm not 100% sure. Or I can see the rooted just above here and then the all-in pack on the floating shelf with the Signal and the modular base, and that's going to look pretty damn cool too, you know? So
damn it.
Yeah.
Damn it. Yeah, get me excited. I'll have to check out Line Rock because I know they're pretty much sold out everywhere. They might be gone there for last time. What I did was like InArt Joker.
Instagram.
Yeah, maybe I'll send a message. But last time what I did was like I just waited for like 1/6 kit had in our Joker, like when he got his batch in, a bunch of like he had like 25 cancellations. So he put him up.
Wow.
Yeah, he told me I think either 20 or 25 2-pack units when the first batch hit for people to start getting them from Kit. And I was like, all right, I'm gonna jump in on one of these. But yeah, I'm gonna check. I'll probably we'll see because like another thing is.
Life
yeah. People, it's gonna like it's. I don't anticipate it's gonna be really really difficult to obtain. You know. Another thing is like the deluxe base that comes with the Hot Toys one. Like I really like that statuesque type base and like putting the rooted inart one on that, like standing up on that holding the cowl, I think would look really really cool. So like kind of intermixing them both, but. We'll stop talking about it now.
I also like that thing. They've been nicknaming it the biscuit. Kind of looks like a manhole cover that he's standing on. It's really simple.
Oh yeah,
I like it.
Yeah, for the inner
like
base. Yeah, it looks. Oh man, I'm so torn because I really like the movie. He's one like.
I'm not going
that
to
I would
help
want
you,
both.
Steve.
Yeah, you're not. You're convincing me to get them both. We'll see. Graham says, "Stay strong, Sneaker. Remember your Kylo Ren meme." Anytime I face a decision like this, I put the, like when Kylo is talking to Han and he's like, "I know what I have to do, but I don't know if I have the strength to do it." Yeah. That's the meme of my collecting life. That's the one that I use for every time, whether I'm going to buy something or not. Yes, the Bat Cycle. Let's see here. Let me get to some comments. Christian Cooper. I don't know if I saw his comment yet. What's up, guys? What is up, Christian? Thank you so much for being here, man. One, Caleb was mentioning DX Vader. Yeah, from Kenobi. Cannot wait for that figure to come out. Definitely excited for that one. Yes, going to be an awesome one for sure. Yes, X-Men says, also, it's the first head-to-head from the big players. I feel like everyone would like to see them both side by side and in hand. Yeah, it'd be nice to just have them both in hand and do it that way. And I have the room too. You know, I have like this one-off display shelf where I could put them by the Jokers, and like that's what I plan to do. So we'll see. Okay, let's move on to the next question here. How do you navigate collecting with your significant other? This is always a unique question. A lot of people give kind of different answers here, but yeah, what are your thoughts on this one here, Shane?
I'm very lucky. She literally doesn't give me any SH1T. Like literally none. She has an older brother who's into Star Wars and Lord of the Rings and stuff like that. So she I was away for 2 years, and when I come back, like, and we moved in together and stuff like that, we when I say away, I wasn't in jail. I was working in another place. I was working in another country. And when we moved in together, we watched all the MCU movies. Like, as in, like, from start. At this time, it was like 23, like, because she'd a few she'd missed, and she'd seen some of them. And, like, it was funny because we were like, yeah, we'll probably get through these slowly. But it was like, literally, we watched one Iron Man, and the next night she was like, right, what watching now? And it was like, literally every single night for like 3 weeks and stuff like that. And we go to all the movies. She's very like, I think what it is, it's this simple. Relationships are all about compromise. If I want to go see said, I don't know, whether it's Top Gun Maverick or No Way Home or whatever like that, a lot of the time I'm lucky she'll be like looking forward to that anyway. But if there's something about her left field that I want to watch, and she's like, all right, I'll go with you.
Uh-oh, we lost him.
The sneaker?
Hold on. Oh, you're back.
You disappeared from me. Yeah.
Yes, you disappeared from me for some reason. Yep, you're good.
Yeah. What I was saying is that, like, say like if I'm lucky because a lot of the stuff that I don't have to drag her to the cinema to see any of these movies and stuff like that. Typically it's something we'd look forward to. But like,
cool. Sometimes
if I want to go see a movie which should be like not up her street or whatever, she'll still come and speak to me, and she'll come with me to see it. But then when part of that is that when she wants to do something that mightn't be up my street, then I've got to kind of do it. Like, if she wants to go see a musical and stuff like that, like we went to see The Lion King 2 weeks ago, and it wouldn't be I wouldn't go, I'm going to go see a musical, but say like when we were in New York, we saw Hamilton and we've seen Beetlejuice, and over here we've seen a few musicals in the last few months. But I'll always go to that stuff with an open mind, because you know, she likes it. She comes with me to the things that I like. So that's kind of like just a general statement on it. But in terms of the hobby, no, she's like, I mean, it's like once we pay our bills first, like I don't tell her what handbags she can and can't buy. So therefore she doesn't tell me what figure I can and can't buy. You know what I mean? It's this simple. You pay the bills first, things that have to be paid. And then you pay the savings second, because you don't know what's around the corner, what kind of curveball life is going to throw you, or there's things that you're both working together where it's a big trip or a holiday or home improvements or whatever. And then you do whatever you want with my money, and she does whatever she wants with hers. So it's no, it's not much navigating, to be honest.
Simple and effective. Yes.
That would change maybe if we have kids, though, obviously, because that's a bigger priority and stuff like that. But
that's when things change.
And understandably so, you know.
Yeah, yeah, but it's still manageable. I mean, I have 2 kids, and you know, you just prioritize, like you said, prioritize, and you compromise for certain things. And yes, Boba says she cut the wire because we disconnected for some reason briefly. They're listening. Yeah.
They know.
Yes, they know. Agent Silver Fox says, I love this question. My missus is a clinical psychologist, and I've worn her down. She says she doesn't enable me, but doesn't disable me.
I like that.
Oh, that's funny. They're always listening. Let's see here. DK Magic Shop says, there's another thing he said here. She hates it, but I just give her money for hair, nails, and eyelashes. I always say it's just like anything else. Like, people enjoy certain things and what they put their money into. But it's good to have somebody supportive. Let's hit that like button. Yes, please. There was a question I wanted to get to back here. The Jedi Knights Watch says, what's the figure you have the hardest time posing? His is Doc Brown Part 1. Never satisfied with that figure. That's a good one. Good question.
Yeah. I think that Ahsoka, because of the elbows, is challenging. And there's not that much give in those elbows, and they've notoriously broken a few collectors. That's one.
Did you bend them?
I did a bit, but like not that much, because I was worried that they'd just snap. Do you know what I mean? It's like they're really stiff.
I bent mine like a few clicks, and then I just straightened them right back out.
Yeah. So again, I eventually over the next few weeks I'll be reposing. I really like the poncho look, especially after finishing Clone Wars like last week, and
nice.
Just that last scene. I think the last 4 episodes were just stunning, but that last scene with the when they bury the clones I just really like the poncho look in Mandalorian as well. So there's that one, and you know what? I had the Captain America Endgame, which I think is a fantastic figure, posed very simple. The shield in one hand, see Graham, and the Mjolnir in another hand, and it was just a simple straight up and down pose, and it was effective. And I put in a more dynamic pose with him holding the shield up as if he was behind it. Man, there's not much give in those pants. Like very, very hard to get a decent pose on without absolutely stretching and messing up the pants material. So yeah, I think those two.
Yeah, Ahsoka's a really good one. That one I feel like everybody's cautious with. Yeah, that's posing is just tough sometimes in general. Graham's out of here. See you later, Graham. Let me see here. Chris says, shoot, when I started to collect, my wife and kids were supportive, but now I passed 100 figures. They're always asking another one. When's it going to stop? Yeah. Yep. So stuff's always fun at first for everybody.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. 100 figures. That's a lot. It's a lot of figures. Awesome.
Absolutely.
Let me see here if there's anything else. When my figures are delivered, I have to sneak it in the house and straight to my collection room. Then they walk in and they're like, what's that new one there?
No, I saw it in the box. It's fine.
Yes, Endgame Cap. X-Man Supreme says Endgame Cap is tough, but he looks so good just standing there.
Yep.
I have like the stealth suit Cap from Endgame, and I'm guessing the pants are the very similar material. And yeah, I haven't really dynamically posed him too much. Brick talks about, we always talk about superheroes that can never be replaced, like Iron Man and Wolverine. Is there a female superhero you feel could never be replaced?
A female superhero will never be replaced. Does it have to be a superhero? Yeah, look, we'll stay within the confines of the question. That's a good question. Like, if they recast Black Widow, would they get away with it? Like, I know that they have other widows, but actual Black Widow, not sure they'd get away with that. Or
I feel like no at this point.
I know that there's ones that we just aren't thinking about off the top of our heads.
But actually, I don't know though, because one that I never thought would ever happen is like they recast Han Solo. You know, that's like a really, I know it's not a female character, but if you can recast Han Solo, I feel like anybody is pretty much fair game to be recast. Granted, it was a way different time period. I guess it depends on when they like the time period is for the character, but
I can't think of one that really.
Chris says Wonder Woman.
Out. Wanda, maybe.
Yeah, Wanda. Oh yeah.
Else now.
Yeah, X-Men Supreme Wanda can never be replaced. I know Brick would agree. Brick loves Wanda. I'm sure he will. He will agree. That's a good one. That's a good question. Wow, look at this. We have a figure sale going on in the chat. I love it. Also, I got some figures for sale. If anybody needs a Chewbacca, hit me up. I got a Chewbacca, a Scout Trooper, a Han Solo from the Solo film, and also a KX Enforcer droid without the base. Anybody needs any of those figures, hit me up. All right.
Is the Force Awakens Chewbacca?
No, it's the A New Hope one, the single.
Oh, did you get like, you have the 2-pack? You got the 2-pack then, did you?
I have the 2-pack, but I bought a lot of figures that I'm parting out.
I see.
Yeah, I bought a lot. I was helping out a friend, and
yeah.
So I bought a lot, and then I'm basically just parting it all out. I'm keeping, I think, one figure from it.
Gotcha.
So yes. Yes. All right. I think we have a couple other questions. We'll probably end around the hour and a half mark here, but a couple other questions shouldn't take us too much time here to finish up. What figure would you show someone to highlight your 6-scale collection? If you had to pick just one to show them, like, this is what it's about for you.
I feel like my answers are going to be very similar now. I'd be like, hey, check out this short I did of this figure burning. Right, I feel like it's too obvious. It's because it's rooted. And okay, let me rephrase it. It's because it's rooted and it's done very well. Because not all rooted figures are equal. Like, let's be honest. Like, yeah, any like say laymen or lay people that come in who are not collectors and they see that rooted Joker, they're just like cannot believe it. Like, they're like, the detail, the fact that it looks so lifelike, the likeness of Heath Ledger, they're like, how does the hair stay like that? I think that's one that would definitely be quite stunning. But I feel that almost I don't want that to be my answer, but that would probably be my answer if that makes sense.
A lot of people
the
answer
Terminator
that
as well. Yeah. The DX-13 would be beautiful. I think I'd show them a figure that they would definitely know. Like, not everyone's going to know Cad Bane, you know what I mean? But like, everyone's going to know the Terminator. Everyone's going to know that DX-13 or RoboCop. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I would show them the rooted Joker. I'd have to, because it's just so realistic, to be honest.
I agree. I think who else was it that said it might have been somebody in the chat last time who said, like, somebody walked in and saw, like, anybody who comes in and sees their inner Joker is it doesn't know anything about collecting says, like, wow, like, that one looks exactly like the character in the movie. Like, you know exactly, pretty much exactly who it is.
Yeah. Good rooted hair sets it off.
Yeah, good rooted hair. They nailed the rooted hair on that one for sure. Yes. Good answer. in our Joker making the rounds.
Keep one. I'm gonna burn one.
In multiple scenarios.
Show it. Yeah.
I love it. Last but not least here, the final question on my list. What is your most important piece of advice to give to other collectors?
I try not to give advice on the channel because it can just be like, it can get into like a slippery slope, but you're about to buy something. I think solid advice you could give for free would be, do your own research. Like, don't buy something because YouTubers are saying it is the best thing since sliced bread. Again, that is just an opinion of someone with a YouTube channel. That's all. Do you know what I mean? As in, including myself, like, you know, something that I'm hyped about, you might have no connection for. And it's easy to get swept up in the FOMO and the hype. But I suppose, like, if you're about to buy something, two things. Will you like it in 10 years' time? Will you like it in 5 years' time? The second thing, shop around. Like, you know, again, like I mentioned, like, I might have a good relationship with Lion Rock Toys. I might have good customer service. You're not going to get the same deal as I get because I'm doing a review. I'm doing a bit of work for them, you know what I mean? That kind of a way. But at the same time, I wouldn't recommend them if they were basically ripping people off and stuff like that left, right, and center. But do your own research. So shop around, do your own research price-wise, but not only like what are these crowd like customer service like, you know, so, you know, look up the price on Sideshow and the customer service reviews and stuff like that. Look up the likes of 1/6 Kit, Lion Rock, KG Hobby, whoever it is. Make sure you're buying from a reputable source, and make sure the thing you're buying just for you, like, do you know what I mean? Will you like it in 5 years' time? Because hype figures come and go, and the thing that I might be super hyped about, like that Bane. Like if you look back when the Bane pre-order preview video I did, or the live stream, I was buzzing for it because it was so goddamn good. But I mean, just because I'm hyped about something, or any YouTuber's hyped about something, doesn't mean that you should be too. So I think that's pretty much it. Like,
yeah, I would agree. Like everybody looks at people hears what they have to say on YouTube, but yes, do your own research and make a decision for yourself. Mm-hmm. I think it's good ultimately. Like at least for me, it's good to hear what everybody else has to say. I think in this hobby, it's nice to be able to, you know, like get all the differing opinions on what people do. And that's why I like this show too, because I like people giving their take on like what advice they would give people, and let all of that information help you make a decision, but don't just take one thing into account when you're doing this stuff. That's what I would add to that. But yeah, I'm the same way. You know, we all have opinions, there's all stuff, but we all also have different interests, and we all collect different ways. So, yeah, I think that's really important. That was the last one on my list here. Shane, thank you so much, man. I really appreciate, again, you coming on the show. I'm glad we could work it out. What time you got there? So it's got to be like, I guess
it's 8:30. So, yeah, gonna go down and watch a movie now.
It's so crazy. It's 2:30.
I'm gonna fry up some eggs and have a fried egg bagel. I've been thinking.
Dude, that sounds so good.
Yeah. I had a big like dinner, but I had it early, and now I'm like, yeah, that's gonna sound good. Yeah.
That sounds delicious, man. I love it. I love eggs on sandwiches and bagels and all that. Yep.
So much you can do with it.
Yep. Very versatile, healthy choice. Is there anything you wanna plug for your channel here before we sign off? And then, like I said, everybody, his link is in his Instagram and YouTube are both in the description below. So go follow and sub to Shane 1/6 Figure Focus. But yeah, man, what do you got going on the channel right now? Do you have anything special coming up here?
Well, first of all, I want to say a massive thank you. I do appreciate it. It's really nice coming on the show and not having to do any organizing and actually being the one answer the questions that I've asked them. So I do appreciate that. And thanks to people in the chat who participated or watching on the replay. Yeah, so like obviously if you're watching, I presume if you're watching, you're subbed to Stephen, so make sure that you do that. If you want to sub to my channel, check it out. It's 1/6 Figure Focus on YouTube and Instagram. If you like the type of content, give it a follow and a sub. It is appreciated. We're at 2,555. We're on our way to 3K. The next thing coming up is we've got the Hope Show on Monday night. So that'll be, we pushed it back from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time. Just get my maths right here, which would be 3 p.m. Central Time, 4 p.m. Eastern Time, and I believe 1 p.m. West Coast. So yeah, so we'll be talking about all sorts on that. Apart from that, tomorrow do my first official troop with the 501st in the RDS in Dublin and Gamerfest. There will be some shorts coming from that, so really looking forward to being a stormtrooper for the day. So TK66 546. So looking forward to that. So yeah,
awesome,
thanks
man.
Very much.
Yes. So happy to have you on the show. Thank you so much. I wanted to return the favor because you brought me onto your channel. So I just appreciate you being willing to chat with me and also, you know, have me on your show. It's good to, you know, as somebody new, meeting people in the community, and yeah, just thanks a lot for that. So if you guys haven't, go check out all of his content, follow, subscribe to Shane. The links are in the description. And then I mentioned, I just want to do a brief plug for my stuff that I have coming up. I did mention if you need to get in contact with me, you can check out my Instagram and then TK Magic Shop. If you actually do want to get some of the figures, you want to chat about some figures I have for sale, contact me. If you don't have social media, evilsneaker@gmail.com. It has 2 R's. Okay, Evil Sneaker with 2 R's at the end. At gmail.com. You can always hit me up, or if anybody else wants those figures, because I'm trying to sell them. I'll give you a pretty good deal on them. For me, I don't really have anything like too much in the pipeline right now. Every Wednesday I'm on Wolfpack Wednesdays on the Jedi Knights Watch channel. I'm with him, Brick Artemis, and D'Lo the Collector. A great show that we always do. We have one on Wednesday, and then we're doing a Halloween episode in costume on Halloween. It's gonna be a Wolfpack Tuesday Halloween special. So we will be on like I said, this Wednesday as well, but that one will be extra special. And then I'm probably just gonna keep the collector tour rolling. I might be adding in another live stream here potentially in the near future. But the collector tour has been a lot of fun for me, so I'm probably just gonna keep that rolling for now. Probably get a guest coming up here for the next week. And then we kind of talked about it, Shane. So like Lion Rock, do you do reviews and stuff for them too?
Yeah. So how it works is I don't have any like official deal or contract with them. I like to buy from different sources. So I buy a lot from adverts.ie. It's basically a buy, sell, trade. It's like nice. An eBay with no fees here in Ireland. It's just like if you want to sell stuff or buy stuff. And it's just handy because there's no fees or any of that kind of crap. Like it just puts people who want to sell things in contact people who want to buy things. So you get I've got some, I suppose I'm going to say it, I got some grails on that over the years. Basically figures good as new. The Obi-Wan Kenobi from New Hope, the T-800 from Terminator 1, like some like the 89 Joker, like as in these figures were brand new. They look brand new and it's from decent deals. So I buy that from them. But in terms of my main go-to is Lion Rock, and how it works is kind of like I shop around, I do my own research, I find the price, and then I email them or message them and like say, look, can you beat this? And then they offer like say the review price and stuff like that, and that's how it works. So we've got that kind of relationship going now, and they haven't let me down, so I keep going with them as long as they don't let me down, So no, but they're good. It's like I like being able to message them directly and speak to them, whatever like that. So it's quite good. They are reliable, and I wouldn't have them associated on my channel if I thought they were sketch. But again, that's saying by whoever you want, whether you're watching this in a replay, whatever, So it's again, and the only thing is like I don't want to get into the habit of buying figures just to review them. I'm a collector first and a YouTuber second. Yeah. You know what I mean? So if I'm buying something, it's going to stay in my collection long term. Who knows what I'm going to do in 5 years' time? I just said, like, I want to, if I'm buying something, it's like I asked, will you like this in 5 years? Will you like it in 10 years? I don't always get that right. But in terms of like buying something to review it and then sell it, that's not what I want to get into. I don't want that kind of pressure. I'm a collector first and a YouTuber second. So, then you're kind of like buying figures and you're like really hyped in the reviews, so they're very like usually positive. But there's definitely some figures I've bought which I love, but I do point out the shortcomings and stuff like that because like, I can say what I want. That kind of freedom.
Yeah. That's nice. That's nice. I just want to do a quick plug for a company that I do quite a bit of like buying with too, is Underground Figures. I know this doesn't really apply to you because they're like a US based or East Coast. So I live in Wisconsin, so I usually get stuff a little bit quicker from them, but it's undergroundfigures.net. It's nice because their price is 5% below Sideshow's MSRP. Nice. So you get 5% off, and then depending on where you live, you may or may not be taxed online, but like I'm pretty sure you can, the majority of places you save tax, and everything is double boxed for shipping, which is also really nice. You don't have to pay extra fee for double box. And then also if you just make an account on their website, they do no NRD pre-orders. So it's basically like a good faith pre-order. You just email them and say, hey, I want this item. And then you get invoiced. You get put on a list and then invoiced. Like he keeps allocation of his inventory that he has. And then you'll get invoiced when it's ready to ship and you pay. So I don't really like people holding on to my money, especially like NRDs. So it's really nice for me. And they've got excellent customer service. When the stuff comes in, once you pay it, usually will ship same day. So another really great company to work with. But with that being said, I want to echo what you said, Shane. That's why I wanted to talk, both of us to talk about it, because it's really important that you just do your own research, buy with where you feel comfortable. But if a company's doing I bought a lot of stuff from them, and if they were doing a really good job, I want other people to hopefully have that same experience too. So, yes, man. Anything else you want to say before we sign off here?
No, that's it. It's just, I really enjoyed that. It's nice answering the questions. And having
Man. Yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed it.
So,
Yeah, I enjoyed it too.
Yeah. Happy days.
Yep. With that being said, chat, thank you all so much again for being here and interacting and sending over your questions. I will keep you posted as to when the next show is going to be. But with that being said, we will see you guys on the next video. See you later.